Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Healing Lounge. Today, we are honored to welcome Maria Emeterio, the visionary behind Be Blissfully Balanced, a master healer, energy alchemist, advanced Reiki master teacher, and certified chakra master healer teacher. Maria's mission is simply simple yet profound: to empower people to heal themselves one chakra at a time. Through her working journal series, there's a chakra for that. She helps people understand and recognize chakra imbalances and guides them to realign their mind, body, and soul. She believes that we are our own best healers and that true transformation comes from within. Recently, she expanded her passion for healing energy by writing a children's book on chakras, making this powerful wisdom accessible to the next generation. Join us as we explore the magic of chakras, energy healing, and self-empowerment with Maria. Maria, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule and joining us here on the Healing Lounge. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I mean, what a beautiful, thing you do for the community to bring this information of all the different people out here in Las Vegas, Henderson area. And so thank you. The honor is mine.
It is my pleasure, and thank you again for everything that you're doing and empowering others and empowering our next generation, of course. Thank you so much. And I did want to go ahead and mention also that the Healing Lounge is a place for everyone who wants to come on here. Everyone is at home. They can share their experiences, their talents, their services that they provide to the community, and I'm excited to be a platform for that.
It's a beautiful thing you're doing. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Blessings, blessings. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about your journey and your mission. And I wanted to talk about your inspiration and what inspired you to create Be Blissfully Balanced and dedicate your life to energy healing.
I have known about Reiki since the 1990s. And a friend of mine, she was my best friend, was a Reiki master. And, she used to do all the woo-woo stuff. And, back then I was, in my, late 20s. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, no, really, you have to understand it's just so beautiful and it's so powerful. And, fast forward into 2015, I got really ill and I was hospitalized and I had to go into the hospital for gallbladder and pancreatitis. And they told me I needed to have my gallbladder removed, but I couldn't have the surgery because my pancreas was so inflamed. It was like the worst they'd ever seen. I was in the hospital for 8 days. And I just intuitively started placing my hands near my pancreas and just, gently, put my hands in that area. And I met with the doctor a month later, and she's like, this is unbelievable. This is truly unbelievable. You healed yourself. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, you literally got your pancreas to get back to normal. It was impossible. We were thinking 6 to 8 months. And so I was like, but I didn't do anything because I wasn't attuned to Reiki. I knew what Reiki was, but I wasn't attuned to it. So they scheduled me for my surgery. Week after I got out of my surgery, I went down to Enchanted Forest in Las Vegas and I met with Debbie, who's the owner of Enchanted Forest. And I was like, look, I had this crazy dream. I dreamt the number 44. I had issues. And so we were talking about fairies and she had a fairy necklace on. She goes, you're in the right place. She goes, I have a Reiki class coming up next weekend. Let's sign you up. So I immediately signed up, right, fresh out of surgery, having my gallbladder removed. I took Reiki 1. And to be honest with you, I felt nothing. Everyone in my class is like pulling energy out of their hands and they're like, oh my gosh, I got a Reiki ball. I've got this. I'm like, oh, maybe this is isn't for me. Like maybe I'm not, supposed to be doing Reiki. And so she's like, just go home, do your 21 days, do your self-healing positions, and, let's see where you're at. So day one, I do the position, nothing. Day two, I do all my positions. Day three, day four, day five, I felt something and I just began to cry and I just poured tears out. And, it was really interesting because I started having like little visions. And so I started writing down each day, like what I saw, and things like that. And in one of the visions, I saw this beautiful heart. There was this huge heart in my living room where I was doing my self healing. And then I had a vision of my one son. I was like, oh, he's smiling at me. He's so happy. So fast forward 30 days, I go to take Reiki 2. Again, we do our attunement. Everyone's working on each other. I don't feel anything. I don't see anything. She takes us into a meditation. The meditation she takes us into, I wrote down in my book and I showed it to her. I'm like, I saw this meditation and I wrote it down exactly how she was giving it. So then she was like, that's your gift. You're able to see things like into the future. You're able to dream things. You're able to see things. That's your gift. Keep doing Reiki. So I said, okay. So 6 months, a year goes by, year and a half. I go to take Reiki Masters. And I went with a different teacher. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do Reiki Master, but I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to teach this. This isn't my thing. Like, I want to know more because I'm the type of person, like, once I dive in, I like go down the rabbit hole and I want to know everything that there is. So I take the Reiki Master's course. Then I take the Advanced Reiki Master's course. And then I take the Reiki Teacher's course. And then I was like, okay, I got to tell everybody. I got to teach everybody. And so that's kind of how this started.
I love that. What a wild ride. Yes. And
Yes.
yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that and how that unfolded for you and your newfound passion and how something so I guess you could say extreme like a surgery brought
Yes.
you to something another way of healing the body and a whole just a whole new trajectory for you.
Yes. What I found is a lot of things happen to people: loss, illness, loss of jobs. That is the thing that shifts and it kind of catapults people into wanting to learn about healing. And it's unfortunate that it has to take something so drastic to make people want to kind of learn these things. But that's what I've seen throughout the years is that, someone's had, traumatic loss, they're going through grief, they're going through something painful, and that's when they turn to Reiki. And that's when they really want to kind of start either one learning. I've had a lot of students who were clients first, and I'm like, it's not that I don't want to keep doing sessions on you, but wouldn't you want to learn to do this for yourself? Like, this is a gift that by you learning Reiki 1, you're able to do all of this for yourself. So I have a lot of clients who turn into students.
That's amazing. And I love that people are open to it, especially people who are not really familiar with how Reiki works, how energy works, or even chakras. How do you approach that when someone comes up to you and says, hey, I'm interested in what you're doing. However, I have no idea what that means.
So I get, believe it or not, I get a lot of people who have no idea what Reiki is. And so the easiest way that I have found to explain Reiki, it's like a massage where I never touch you because I do Reiki with no touch. It's a massage of your mind, body, and spirit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move things just like a masseuse does when they're moving out that energy and those toxins. I'm doing the same thing, but I'm doing it on an energetic level. And I incorporate chakras with my healing because for me, I can put the 7 chakra stones on somebody's body and they don't have to tell me anything. In fact, I prefer they don't tell me anything because that's how I can tell them exactly what is going on with them.
I love that. I love that. And what for someone out there who has no idea what a chakra is, what is a chakra?
So they are energy wheels inside of our body and above our body and below our body. There's 114 chakras that are connected up to the universe, up to source, down, they say all the way into Mother Gaia. And so we have seven main chakras that everybody knows: the crown chakra, the third eye, the throat, the heart, the solar, the sacral, and the root. But there's so much more. Like there's palm chakras, finger chakras. I teach about ear chakras because it's really important when you have things that someone has said to you, or you've heard, or you've seen, or you've even said to yourself, it's stuck there in your ear chakras. And that is directly in line with your throat chakra. So if you have self-doubt about something, it's because it's something that you've heard. So if you clear out your ear chakra, you're able to speak in such a way that people, they find it amazing. Like they're just like, I don't even understand how this works. But they're energy sources that swirl around clockwise in your body, and they're supposed to all be the same size. Now, is there a certain size that they say that the chakras? There's a lot of different opinions. I've learned different chakras teachings from many, many different teachers. And so I'm in the firm belief I don't always just go to one teacher. I want to go to several teachers that are experts in their field, and I want to see what best resonates with me. And so chakras help you to be aligned in your body.
I love that. And why do you think that there's such a huge focus on the seven? Is it because we are just dealing with the physical world, or why do you think that is?
Because there's, first of all, people have a hard time believing in energy as it is. And so when you talk to them about Reiki and you're explaining like the energetic field and the aura and everything else, unless they experience it, sometimes, like people don't understand like how Wi-Fi works, right? So it's same thing with Reiki. Reiki's just tuning into the universal life force energy to get that reception. And as a healer, when it comes to the chakras, it's even more difficult because people are like, but there's only seven. I'm like, oh no, there's a lot more, but people only talk about the main seven because they focus on each part of our body. And so like the crown chakra is of course up here about, community and our mind. The third eye is about, opening up and then our expansion. The throat chakra is because it, regulates into the throat. And same thing with the heart. So these are things that people can recognize. But when you start going up into like the solar and the stellar and the universal gateway, people kind of go, what are you talking about? Feet chakras, earth star chakra, Gaia gateway. So that's why I created a certified chakra healers course for people to really dig deep down and really learn about the chakra system.
Wow, that's incredible. And that kind of makes sense when people are really focused on just their main seven, but there's a lot more to explore, and absolutely. And I'm glad that you created that course. What inspired you to create or to teach about chakra healing and also Reiki?
So when I was learning Reiki, we did a real small portion on the chakras, and they did a pendulum. And in my solar plex, when she was doing the pendulum just like flew, like it just like pew, right? Because it was releasing energy, because that's where I had the gallbladder surgery. And later found out that the reason I had the gallbladder issues is because of self-esteem, willpower, really feeling, empowered, being able to stand in my own energy. And so what I wanted to know was more about the chakras, but no one was teaching it here locally. So I took a lot of online courses. I trained with, master healers who do specialize in the chakra system. And what I realized was that if you really understand why each chakra does what it does in your body and how it regulates, like say the throat chakra, right? If you have a scratchy voice, or you have lack of self-esteem, or you're unable to communicate what it is that you truly want to do, it's because you have an issue in your throat chakra. If you can learn how to balance that throat chakra, you're able to speak more elegantly. You're able to get your point across. You're able to shine in a room full of people instead of just sitting there and going, "Oh, I don't want to talk," or no, 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 no. So it's when you understand what each chakra in the seven main have to do with healing yourself. And it's truly about healing yourself. Because yes, Reiki is about self-healing and getting energy moved throughout, but the chakras are specific to each particular one. Like the throat chakra. If you can heal your throat chakra, you're able to speak in such a way of love and kindness and compassion, but you're able to get your point across at the same time. but that's with a healed throat chakra.
What? That's beautiful. Beautiful explanation. Thank you so much for that. Do you often find that people have physical pain or physical, I guess you could say physical trauma because of their energetic centers?
Yes, absolutely. I get a lot of clients who have issues in their root chakra. And so here's a little, bonus for you. So the root chakra forms from the time that you're inside the womb of your mother until you're about 6 months of age. So this is what I teach all of my clients when they come in, especially if they have a root chakra issue. If your mother had a beautiful pregnancy, okay, magical pregnancy with a wonderful partner and no physical ailments and everything else, the child comes out being able to make quick decision, is focused, is passionate, has drive, able to stand in their power, to really be balanced. But if you had a mother who had issues as far as they had a very stressful pregnancy, you have a child that comes out timid, unsure of themselves, not able to make that, am I safe? Am I secure? Should I do this? Not able to make those kinds of decisions. And then I write in my working journal, because I have a lot of clients, well, what if I was adopted? Well, there's certain things that you can see if you're balanced or imbalanced in that chakra. So for the root chakra, it's really important because that is your stability. And sometimes the easiest way to explain it is if you're ever walking and all of a sudden you're kind of like off balance, that's your root chakra. Are you afraid that you've made a decision and you second guess yourself and you're like, oh, should I have done that? Should I have done that? That's root chakra. Teeth issues, root chakra. So in the working journals, I go through all of the different things that are affected by those different things that have happened in their life. Sacral chakra, huge one for a lot of people because it's about boundaries. It's about emotional and physical boundaries. And as children, a lot of children were taught to sit there, be quiet, throat chakra, don't say anything. Sacral chakra, because now they don't have any boundaries because they're just being shut down. So those are the two main ones that I get a lot of.
Wow, that really makes sense, especially when dealing with your physical challenges throughout life and kind of connecting the two with energy and ways of clearing it. So thank you. And thank you for explaining that in a different way where we can find solutions for these things without going into traditional conventional medicines or any other kind of numbing substances. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
In the world of Reiki and chakra healing, what are some common misconceptions that you find in that world that people might have?
So number one, they think Reiki is a religion, not a religion. They think that only certain people can do Reiki. Untrue. Anyone can do Reiki. Everybody has the power to heal themselves. The difference is when you get attuned, you're able to use symbols that help to kind of really empower the healing. Okay. Because as in my story earlier, I wasn't attuned to Reiki, but I instinctively knew to put my hands above that area to kind of soothe the pain. It's just like when a mother has a child and the child falls and they're like, oh, here, let me kiss your boo boo. It's the same thing. It's that instinct. So that's what Reiki is. And when you become attuned by a Reiki master, it just kind of elevates your connection to source even more. Chakras. People think that chakras are just, nonsense. But if I get the chance and I put someone on the table and I can tell them exactly what is going on with them, and they see, they're like, how did you know that? Like, how did you even know that I have these issues? And so that's where the difference is, like with chakras, because people, they can't see them, so they don't understand it. And it's like with Reiki, they don't understand it, but they can feel it. But once you have a session and like long distance, I love to do chakra balancing long distance with people because I have them there. I have all my crystals laid out. I start doing, all of the healing, and immediately I can tell which chakra is out of alignment with someone. So that's, that's the big myth, is that people, they have to see it to believe it, but it's there. Energy is all around us. Everything is alive. Everything around us has been alive at one time or another, or still living. Perfect example. You have a table that's made of wood, even if it's made out of plywood. There is energy in that table because one, it came from some kind of source. If it's an actual wood table, it came from a tree, which was in Mother Gaia. If it's been cut and manufactured, it's been touched by human hands, and that energy has gone into that table. That's why I teach my students how to cleanse energies of everything that comes into your environment, because everything has energy to it.
I love that. And thank you for that explanation and in such a way that can be understood by everyone. And I love how you mentioned clearing the energy. Can we dive in a little deeper on clearing energy, especially in objects or even in food?
Yes. So one of the things that is really simple for let's start with something easy. Let's clear your energy, right? Say you've been at work all day. You come home and you feel drained, you feel exhausted. Simple technique is you go opposite hand and you wipe down your arm and you do it 3 times, right? When you're done, you're gathering up that in your hand and you're wishing it to turn into something magical that can be repurposed, replenished by the earth. Because if you wipe your energy and you just throw that gunk down, now it's in your space, right? So you want to turn something that is a negative into a positive. You want to ask Mother Gaia to take what is, may not necessarily be negative, but it's making you feel down. You're just kind of feeling drained. You're feeling the energies of all the people around you, and you just want to get rid of it and turn it into something magical and beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's one thing. Furniture, a simple, you can do cleansing with sage. You can do cleansing with sprays. You can do cleansing with just snapping your fingers. You can move energy, just a snap or a clap. It's really simple. It's not really difficult. People make it more difficult than it really needs to be.
I love that. And that's pretty much that's true. When it comes
Mhm.
to, simplicity is key. And
Yes.
when it comes to cleansing the energy, thank you for showing us a little bit of how that looks like and how important it is, especially coming out of the workforce. We're just around so much emotion and it
Mhm.
could be draining. How would you recommend someone when they go into the workforce? How would you let them know, hey, this is how you can protect your energy?
So one of the things that I teach again for my students, and even if you're not Reiki certified, you could still do this. First thing what you do is when you get out of bed and you put your feet on the ground, imagine your feet sinking down, really going down below your flooring, down past the asphalt, down past the brick and mortar, and really grounding into Mother Gaia. Just picture your feet are grounding into Mother Gaia. Now, take that energy from her and wipe it all the way around you like this protective bubble, this beautiful healing energy that is going to protect you throughout your day. You can use crystals. You can wear different types of jewelry. You can, there's different sprays that you can use, like a smudge off to keep your, energy cleansed and cleared from, people. And it's just a matter of really imagine yourself protected in this beautiful healing. You can do it from Reiki. If you're Reiki certified, you can put this golden healing light of Reiki around you, or you can even just gather up the energy from Mother Gaia to just surround you with love and light and peace.
Oh, I love that. And I feel like everyone can gain something from that right there, and incorporate it in their daily life. You mentioned a few things that really stood out to me. One of them was using your imagination, how important imagination is to healing.
So imagination, intention, to me, like if your intention, because I get a lot of students who are like, if I forget the symbols, is it still? I'm like, it's your intention. If your intention is to give healing, then you're going to give healing. Whether you remember the symbols or not, the universal life force energy knows that that's what your intention. Imagination, when it comes to the chakras, so key because people say, well, I can't go outside, it's snowing or it's raining or I don't have any grass around me. And that's okay. Like I said, sit here with your feet on the ground. You can have your shoes on, you can have your shoes off. It's all in what you are able to imagine, that your feet are opening up these energetic cords. They're going down past where you're at, in the flooring, and visualize it going down into the earth. And that is so key because you can ground yourself anywhere, anytime. You can connect with source anywhere, anytime. It is about believing your intention, your goal, and what it is that you're trying to do.
I love that. Thank you so much for that explanation as well. Another word that came up, buzzword, is grounding. Um,
Ah,
what are some misconceptions about grounding, and why is it so important?
so grounding is just basically being able to feel safe in your, from your root chakra. So when you are grounded, you are able to see things more clearly through your body. If you work out and after you're done working out, you have all these endorphins and you feel empowered. You feel like you can accomplish anything. Grounding is the same thing. If you ground in the morning, if you ground at night, if you ground anywhere, so I do a lot of resetting during the day because I'll be at work, something will happen, something will get knocked over, and I feel flustered. I'm like, I stop, take a breath, feel my feet going back down, swirl around some golden healing light, and I say, okay, let's reset. Let's get grounded. Let's reset where we're at right here, right now. Some people are like, but my day, it's going like, just stop, take a breath, breathe into your heart space and really feel your feet grounding into the earth. Then the earth has such a high frequency. People say vibes. I work with frequency. And as a master healer, frequency is really important because when you can start feeling the frequency of trees, of animals, of everything around you, you start to really have a higher frequency. So, there's that old saying, when I walk in the room, I change the frequency. And that's what I like to do is I like to uplift and really bring people to understand their power because we're all powerful. Everybody has the ability to heal themselves. Everybody can ground. Everybody can connect with the universal life force energy. It's just a matter of getting your mind, body, and spirit into alignment. And that's why grounding is so important.
Thank you so much for explaining grounding, and that explanation was everything.
Oh, good.
Yes, I got inspired right now. I'm like, whoa, okay, yes, I'm grounded right now. My shoes are off, and I'm on my feet on the bare floor. So thank
Yes,
you, thank you.
absolutely.
So yes, you have a journal series called "There's a Chakra for That." It is
Yeah.
such a unique concept. What inspired you to create it?
So I had created my certified chakra healers course. And then I thought, you know what? Let's make it accessible. Let's make it accessible that if I break down each chakra into one journal, here's really what happened. Okay. I'm driving on the 95. I'm passing by Russell, and Source Spirit comes to me and says, you're going to write a book. And I'm like, okay. And I just keep driving, right? And I'm joking. Yeah. I'm like laughing. I'm like, yeah, okay. Write about Reiki. Everybody's written a book about Reiki. Yeah. So I get to my house and I'm like, no, you're going to write a series. And I'm like, oh, you're funny. You're funny, Spirit. Like, really, Source, you're going to put this kind of pressure on me? So I'm laying there in bed and I'm like, what would I write about? Like, everybody knows about Reiki. Like, I'm not going to write another Reiki book. And then it was like chakras. And I was like, yes, because there's a chakra for that. And that's how it all started. And so then I started writing, and to be honest, I don't journal. Right. So to write a working journal was kind of even funnier because it's like people are like, oh, but you got to make it fun and you got to do this. And I'm like, no, it's a working journal because when you purchase the book, right, the journal, it is going to ask you the fundamentals. It's going to really dig deep down into each chakra so that you can really understand. And I'm going to flip to the page because in the journal, it explains to you what a chakra is, but it also, there's guidelines for you to check to see if you're balanced, if you're overactive, underactive, and you circle the ones, and it really teaches you how, if your third eye is out of balance, what you need to do. There's meditations, there's aromatherapies, there's herbs that you can use, there's different techniques that you can use. So each journal is specialized for that specific chakra. And that's why after I wrote the seven, I was like, what about kids? Like kids need to know about this. So
Wow, that's very inspiring. I'm excited to check out your journal series, absolutely,
thanks.
and just dive in. And yes, talking about your children's book on chakras, why do you feel it's so important to introduce energy healing to kids?
So it was very interesting because my sons, who are all adults now, they're like, we like this version of you, right? Because as growing up, a single mom, I was always in the survival mode, right? I was always just like, I gotta work one job, two jobs, three jobs, like, gotta get you to practice, gotta get you to school. It was like, go, 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 go. And not that they didn't have a good childhood, but now that I have grandchildren, right? Now that I'm in this more spiritual place, it's like I see my grandchildren doing meditations and I see them doing all these things. And I was just like, why not start earlier? Right? Because there's so many people that come to me that have childhood issues, that have inner child, things that are going on with them. And I'm like, why not teach them when they're young? Right. And why not help them and their parents? Because they're going to do this with their parents so that the parents can understand. So if the parents don't really understand what a chakra is, the book for the children explains exactly what a chakra is. And it teaches them how to recognize, it's like their first chakra book. It explains to them. And it's a fun way for parents, family members, aunts, uncles, whoever, even grandparents, to get this for their children that are in their lives, to really help them to understand what is going on in their lives, and to understand, powerful affirmations. Each page for each chakra has different affirmations. And then the kids get to make their own affirmations, like, I am here. I add value to the world. So if we could start teaching our young children these important things, that they belong, that they're important, and to understand what each chakra does, when it develops, what each chakra is really about, then, we have children that grow up to be kinder, loving human beings. And isn't that what we really want as healers, is to help others to heal as we heal ourselves, and to really bring more love and light into our community?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. 100% of the support, definitely right there. Every parent should own these. And I could just imagine, if I had a book like this when I was growing up, I probably would have handled certain situations growing up a little bit differently, a little bit more mindful,
Right.
versus being reactive or
Mhm.
versus making a specific choice that led me in a different path. So I could definitely see the value in that, especially at such a young age.
And it's funny because the adults that have purchased the adult version of my working journal, who have got the children's version, they love it. And it's funny because they're like, I think I learned more in the children's one than I did in the actual working journal. And it's just because I think, and I think you had said it before when we were speaking, it brings out the inner child, right? It allows them to be playful. It allows them to come to a place to where a lot of us, at certain ages, were told to just sit there and be quiet. But if you're able to really express yourself and do drawings and do doodling and free writing, and that's what a lot of these journals are about, is simple things that you can do to really change your whole mindset, your whole body, your whole spirit, and just bring out the beauty inside of you, to truly bring the magic out of you that you have inside of you.
That is wonderful. I love the way that you talk about healing and energy and chakras and this world, this picture that you're painting for all of us is it's so beautiful. And thank you so much for that.
Thank
You
you.
really see the passion in what you're doing. And I love that you believe that we are our own best healers. Uh,
Absolutely.
how can people start trusting their own ability to heal?
So, if you've never had a Reiki session or an energy session, if you're local, reach out. There's many Reiki masters here in Las Vegas and Henderson area. There's a lot of them that do it online. What you need to do, and I have a course that's each Saturday of the month. It's called Awaken the Alchemist Inside of You. because when people can truly understand the power they have, like the power, like it's the power of manifestation, right? Like if someone wants something bad enough and they keep seeing it and they keep envisioning it and they keep doing it, it happens, right? It's the same thing with your body. If you are sick and you say, oh gosh, I'm so sick, I'm so sick, you're going to stay sick. But if you are not feeling good, you're like, I'm healing, I'm better, I'm doing better, I will be better. My body is healing itself. My body, and the way that you speak to yourself really helps your body. And so that is the most important thing, is that people, when they really understand about the chakra system, when they start really digging deep into it and they understand that they really have the ability to heal themselves from inner child, heal themselves from heart, from painful, from grief. Not that grief ever goes away, because grief doesn't go away. What it does is it teaches you how to go through life in a different way, to help honor the people who you've lost, but to see things in a different light and to help others. And so the chakras are just so magical. And if people just took time to really learn about the chakras, they'd be like, wow, unbelievable.
Do you feel that this knowledge and this information, this wisdom is so impactful that it should be taught in the school system?
Absolutely. I've had several people who have gotten the children's book and they're like, you should take this to the schools. And so what I'm thinking about doing is taking it to like the local libraries and maybe doing like speaking on it and having like children come in and really kind of learn about it. And because it starts at a young age. And if children can learn how to process their feelings, if they understand why they're feeling the way that they're feeling, if they understand why their heart is, why they feel these emotions, why do they feel anger, why do they feel fear, and they can understand how to bring it in and how to change it. And that's what being an alchemist is all about. It's about changing a negative into a positive, teaching kids to take what has happened and to turn it into something that empowers them, to help guide them. And so, yeah, I would love for this to be taught in schools. I would love for, teachers to learn about this so that they are able to better help their students.
Yes, and in your experience that with energy healing and the chakras, what's the most common energy block that you see in people, and how can they release it?
Ah, probably the crown chakra, because people have a hard time believing in anything. Okay. And the crown chakra is all about community. It's all about connecting with source. And source could be God, it could be Buddha, it could be whatever it is that you believe in. But the biggest thing is people are so closed off because people think, no, this isn't for me. But why don't you just give it a try? Like, why don't you just go into a session, go into a sound bath, see the energy healing. Like sound baths are so magical because of the frequency of the sound, of the healing. Like there's so much that you can do. But with the crown chakra is usually the most blocked because people just, they're firm on their belief. They don't want to navigate any which way. And so that is the biggest block. And when you can teach someone to really open themselves up to really being empowered, to really being knowledgeable, to really learning, then it opens up. And then once they open up, then it's on. Then they want to know more. And that's the beautiful part.
What advice would you give someone that's just starting out on their spiritual healing journey?
So, take what resonates with you and kind of dabble into everything. Like I don't believe that Reiki is the end all to everything. I think it is a gateway of opening the door, because what Reiki does is it allows you to expand. And that's why I went on to be a master healer. That's why I went on to be an energy alchemist. So it started with Reiki. So start looking at different things, go to your local libraries, go to, different events that, like, especially here in Vegas, there's always something going on downtown. Go to a sound bath, go to a Reiki circle, go to, anything, and just see what resonates with you, because not everything is going to resonate with everybody. Some people start to do Reiki and then they go into hypnotherapy. Some people go into Reiki and then they go into tarot cards. Like everybody has a gift. Truly, everyone has a gift. They just need to be able to learn to bring it out and to really understand what their gift is.
I love that. And as a master healer and energy alchemist, what's been the most rewarding part of your journey?
Oh gosh, there's been so many. I guess for me, I really love the people who say they don't believe in it. I love the people that are like, okay, I'm here, but it's not going to work on me. I'm like, okay, well, you're here. So obviously you want something to work on you. And then I get the people who are like, I'm not going to fall asleep because what I, basically tell all the people when they come in, about 98% of my clients will cry. And like, oh no, I'm not going to cry. I'm like, okay, but I'm just telling you, it's okay if you cry. It is a way of releasing. I'm just letting you know that like 98% of my clients cry. Oh no, 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 that's not going to happen to me. They get down on my table. Either one, they fall asleep. They said that they can't sleep. Number two, they start bawling, said that they weren't going to cry. Or the third one is, I can really feel it. I feel the heat coming from your hands. How are you doing that? And so the rewarding part is getting the naysayers, getting the people who don't believe in it. And then afterwards, I want to book another session. How do I learn? What do I do? Where do I learn more? And then now you've like ignited something in them because they came in going, nah, I don't believe any of this mumbo jumbo, this woo-hoo stuff. And now they're like, do you have classes? Do you teach on this? What is it? Can I do? Can I buy your books? Can I do this? Can I do that? So that to me is like the most rewarding because when people can really understand that they have the ability to do all these great magical things, that it's not just a select few. We all have the power. Every single person has a unique gift to give to the world. You just need to find it. Whatever it is, a baker, a fireman, like that's your gift. Like everybody has a special gift that they can give to the world. Some of us use energy, some of us use tarot cards, some of us use hypnotherapy, some of us are massage therapists. Like whatever it is, you all have a gift. You just need someone to help tap into it and figure out what your gift is.
Yes, thank you so much for that answer. What is one powerful lesson you learned about energy and healing?
Not everyone's going to believe that you can help them. And so the goal is, though, they have to help themselves. I can't, and I don't heal you. What I do is I provide a safe container, a safe environment. I provide the energy to flow through me as a conduit to you. You are your own best healer. You are the one that's going to decide if you're going to receive the healing, how it's going to go, if you're going to receive the messages that come through source, if you are going to take that next step. All I am is just, like I said, the conduit. I am just helping you and showing you and guiding you for you to take the next steps into your journey. So for me, it's about people really who want to learn and really understand that it's all about them. They have the power. I don't have any power. I don't have anything. I just ask for the energy to come through me as a conduit to go through and to provide that to them. But I'm not the one giving the healing. It is coming from source, or in master healing, it's coming up from Mother Gaia because there's two types of different energies. So I work with both. I work with the direct frequency of Mother Gaia in my master healers chelation that I do. And then I work with the universal life force energy with Reiki.
Wonderful. And with energy healing or energy alchemy, can you use energy healing on objects, crystals, trees,
Yes.
animals?
Oh,
How does that work?
absolutely. And, energy healing is so beautiful because, with Reiki, they teach you to do, self healing, and then you can do it to others, to your food, to the plants, to animals. But as an energy alchemist, right, you can do it's like a prayer, right? Like, you know how people pray for other people and they're like, I'm going to send you prayer, I'm going to send you love, I'm going to send you light. As an energy alchemist, it's about teaching people that they can change everything around them. They can change their environment. If you walk into a room and you feel heaviness, like you can start humming, you can start snapping your fingers, you can clap your hands, you can do different things to move the energy around. You don't necessarily have to be a Reiki practitioner. Anybody can move energy. Anybody can really, if they hone in and they understand that we are the energy, right? We're the light source. We're the energy. If you understand how you can move your energy, it's like you see someone who's smiling, right? You want to smile. You see someone who's sad, you feel bad. right? It's about learning what your energy is and how you can change the energy around you and within yourself.
That's a great thing to mention, and thank you so much for bringing that up because that brought up another question I wanted to ask. A lot of people, I would say like everyone, has some sort of empathic ability where they feel energy.
Mhm.
Um, how would you recommend someone to protect themselves against energy that's not theirs?
So you have to recognize, first of all, you have to know your own energy, right? And so if you're doing energy work, and this happens to a lot of new Reiki practitioners, they're like, I got an upset stomach, I got a headache, I got nauseated. That's because you're taking on that energy. And so what you need to do as, an energy healer, if you're first to learn this, you need to ask yourself during the session, is this mine or is this theirs? Because if it's theirs, I'm going to give it back to them, but I'm going to have it cleansed and cleared. If it's mine, I'm going to step away and cleanse and clear myself. Now, what if you're not an energy healer? Okay, but you know how you feel, right? And you say you get next to someone and they have this yuck, right? Like slimed. So you're driving on the freeway, right? And you get next to this driver and you just all of a sudden you just feel like this just slimed me, right? You're just like, oh, again, wipe off that energy, wipe it off, and just be like, oh, okay, let it go, let it go. It's not mine. That was their energy trying to come into my frequency, trying to come into my auric field. It's not mine, it's got to go. And I'm sending it back cleansed and cleared. It's really understanding your own energy, understanding if it's yours or if it's someone else's.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that information. And Maria, what one thing or what do you want to share with everyone that we haven't discussed yet?
Really believe in yourself. Really, and I know we talked about this, but I can't say it enough. All healing begins within. All love begins within. You can't go out into a relationship or start a relationship if you don't love yourself first. Take time to love yourself first because you are the most important. And as a mother, they always say, oh, your kids come first. Not necessarily, because if you aren't replenished, if you are not in a good place, how can you give back to the people in your life? So you have to be a little selfish. And some people are going to be like, no, there's no way. I give everything to everybody. Yeah, but did you hear what I just said? I give everything to everybody. What are you giving back to yourself? You have to fill yourself up first. You have to be balanced. You have to be secure. You have to feel safe. You have to, have your own boundaries. You have to do these things for yourself so that you can be a better, right? Whatever it is, a better mom, a better teacher, a better friend, whatever it is, because it starts with you. So always make sure to take time out for you.
I love that. And Maria, where can people find more about you? Where can they find your classes, your books, your teachings? If they want to contact you, how do they do that?
So I have mostly on Instagram and it's BE. And let me explain why I did the name. Because sometimes we just need to be, right? We just need to be whatever it is. It's underscore blissfully. Don't you just want to be this blissfully life like this? One of my clients, and it was like one of my first clients, and I'm like, how do you feel? And she's like, blissful. I'm like, really? That's what I'm going to use. So be underscore blissfully and underscore balanced. If we were all just balanced, what a wonderful world we would have. If we all just said, okay, today I'm just going to be. I'm just going to be balanced. I'm going to be blissful, right? And that's my logo over there. And so I'm on Instagram, and in my link bio talks about all my classes. All my working journals are available on Amazon and on my website.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Maria. We're definitely going to put the links below so everyone can click on them and, check out what you have coming out, maybe some new projects, some events, and also sign up for some classes. Yes.
Thank you.
But yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. Really fun questions that we have coming up. Well, all of them were fun, really. If money were not an issue, what would you be doing right now?
I would open up a giant facility. Okay, this is a dream. Money wasn't an issue. I would open up this facility where each day of the week you worked on a chakra. And there would be aerial, there would be yoga, there would be sound bath, there would be massage, there would be facial, there'd be acupuncture, there would be everything. There would be one room so that, you came in on a Friday for your chakra to be cleansed, and that would be the whole focus. There would be dance, there would be everything. Food. If money was no object, that would be my goal, is to open up a giant facility where people could come in and they could focus on that one thing, and they would go and they could do whatever it is that they wanted to do, and they would leave empowered. They would feel love for themselves, and just want to go do great out into the community. That would be if money was no object.
That is a beautiful vision. Yes, let's manifest that, right?
Yes, right? I'm ready.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Your younger self right now is watching this video. What would you say to your younger self?
Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't fight through everything. It's funny because in my childhood, I was a fighter, physical fighter. Like, I was bad, and I was always causing trouble, and I just was always against authority. My mom was a police officer, so it is true what they say, children of police officers are the worst, because it was a small town. We would get picked up, and then they would just say, okay, go home, stop causing trouble. And I was just always just angry. And if I could tell my younger self, stop your nonsense and just be loving, like that's what I would tell my younger self, that there's something more, there's something better. You don't have to fight your way through life.
Such wonderful advice that I feel everyone can resonate with. Thank you. Maria, is there anything that you want to leave the audience with?
I'm just so grateful to be here in this community. I am in the Henderson area. My goal is to work with other amazing Reiki masters, Reiki practitioners. I feel that together as a community, as a collective, we can raise the frequency of our community and really, really learn from each other. Because even though I am a teacher in many different things, I'm always a student at heart, and I'm always looking to learn.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Maria, for that. And thank you so much for this amazing transformational conversation. Thank you. Everyone, please feel free to check out Maria, check out the links. And thank you again for joining us in this episode of the Healing Lounge. Thank you.
Thank you.